Hello boys and girls, welcome to my channel. I'm For Classic and welcome to BenchART. So for today what I do have in here is Nioh 2, a game developed by Team Ninja, and these guys are using their in-house technology, so we don't really have a name for their engine. So Team Ninja, it is well known for their recent Nioh games, which are very inspired in Dark Souls, and they are also very extremely difficult and sometimes even more complex though, but they are good Dark Souls-ish games, in case you want to know. They are also the developers behind Dead or Alive and also Ninja Gaiden, which were also a very difficult game, in case you want to know. But yeah, today our focus in here it is Nioh 2, and to see how it runs on the GTX 1650 Super, and this is my recommended settings for the game. So my recommendation it is for you to play at 1080p and go with maximum settings, but you need to drop effects quality to low and shadows to medium. There is no big difference in graphics quality, in case you want to know. I honestly barely notice any difference. Alright, and these are the requirements for the game. So these guys recommend the GTX 1660 Super, so we are clearly below the recommended, but at least we are obviously above the minimum. They also do recommend 16 gigs of RAM, which I think it is absurd. If you have 8 gigs of RAM, it is absolutely fine. Forget about the 16. So here are the results without recording and with VSync forced off through Nvidia control panel. So optimize the settings, it is the settings that I did show you, so effects quality on low and shadows on medium, and I'm able to get 60 frames per second at 1080p, I mean above 60 frames per second at 1080p when using those optimized settings. Maximum settings, unfortunately, it does drop below 60, but it doesn't go under 30. Same can be said for 1440p, whatever, if you use the optimized settings or the maximum settings, your experience will be above 30. So this game have one issue. It doesn't support frame skipping, so it shares the same behavior as the recent Yakuza. So what really happens is if you select 60 frames per second in the in-game menu, let's imagine that you only have like 50, the game will run in slow motion. So you need to target what you want to have. So you need to select either you want 30 and the game adapts its logic and its speed to match the 30 frames per second, or you either choose 60 or 120 frames per second. Alright, so my recommendation for 60 it is 1080p optimized settings, the settings that I did told you about, or lock the game at 30 and enjoy the game at maximum settings, or at 1440p with maximum settings or optimized. My strong suggestion it is for you to go with 1080p optimized and 60 frames per second, because Nioh it is an extremely difficult game, and same can be said about Nioh 2, and my recommendation it is for you to get those 60 frames per second. Alright, that's my heavy recommendation. Let alone the fact that the difference in graphics between shadows on medium to high, there are very small differences, alright, and the effects quality it is pretty much the same regarding graphics. So I think those two sacrifices are really worthy to get 60 frames per second. So I strongly suggest you to go with these optimized settings and enjoy the game as it is with the GTX 1650 Super. So this is the performance that you can expect. Now let's talk a little bit about the game. So what can I say about Nioh? Let's not call it Nioh. Nioh reminds me of Matrix. Let's call it Nioh, which is possibly the best way or the correct way to spell it. So Nioh 2 offers more of the same as Nioh 1, but they did improve in some stuff, you know, some stuff on the combat or on the environments, so they just improved over the first game. So many people will compare this game to Dark Souls, and it is correct to compare it to Dark Souls since it follows the same style. It is a Souls-like game, but there are many stuff in this game which is simply better than Dark Souls, but that's just my opinion, alright? I'm not saying that this game it is better than Dark Souls or anything like it. I'm just saying that there are things in this game which feels seriously better than Dark Souls, and for me that is the combat. The combat feels much more sophisticated. It is incredibly fast paced, alright, and it packs 4 stances for each type of weapon. So it offers much more possibilities of ways of defending or attacking the opponent. So it's just not attack, block, or doing some backstabbing or parrying. No, it's not. It's not as simple as that as it is on Dark Souls. It is way more complex. You can perform different types of moves depending on your stance or on your weapon, and that offers more possibilities than Dark Souls. Because apart from that, apart from those improvements in the combat, it is more and less the same as Dark Souls. And if you played Nioh 1, Nioh 2 again should follow pretty much the same thing as in Nioh 1, but with small improvements. So unfortunately, just like in Nioh 1, this game it is not really well optimized. So the visuals at display in here, they don't really seem like they justify the hardware that this game it is asking, or how bad or good it is performing. So it is just too much demanding, just like it was on Nioh 1, so it came as no surprise to me. So on Metacritic, this game scored 88, so I think it's a brutally good score, if you ask me. And I think it is nice, because the game really feels great, aside from the performance for low-end systems, because it is really a nice game in my opinion. But unfortunately on Steam the score it is not exactly the same. So on Steam the game scored 75%, and there are some complaints about the performance of the game. In my opinion, yeah, it is demanding, but there are a couple of settings that if you do drop, the performance will improve a lot, and there aren't really any big differences between those settings at high or at low. So yeah, it is clearly bad optimized, and some settings doesn't really offer anything special at all, and they do consume tons of frames. Alright, so yeah, that's that. They could possibly optimize better the game, but also the consoles do suffer with the same performance issues. Yes, they do perform at 60, but they also don't play at 4K 60 frames per second, for example, with flawless performance either. So it's a demanding game, because the technical parts of this game it isn't really very well optimized, just like it was on Nioh 1. So this was one of the first complaints. The second complaint it is the fact that the control prompts does show Xbox command prompts. So if you are playing with a keyboard and mouse, the command prompts which will appear when to select the keys, they will say like A or X or Y or B. They are not going to show you to press mouse 1 or mouse 2 or anything like it. So that's quite unfortunate. Despite I do think that nobody should play this game with a keyboard and mouse, honestly. You should get yourself a gamepad. Even if it is a bad quality gamepad, it is preferable than going with a keyboard and mouse for these type of games. I'm honest, I really am. You should really get a gamepad for this game. And well, that's one of the issues with the game. It is the fact that it does show command prompts from the Xbox instead of showing mouse 1 and mouse 2. This is nothing new, alright? We had many games in the past which happens this. Alright, so it's, in my opinion, it's no big deal, but Team Ninja already pronounced themselves that they will release patches on this month and next month that will fix this. I'm not really sure if they will improve the performance, but they did say that they will fix the command prompt stuff, at least for the users, and they will offer better keyboard and mouse support in the future with better updates. So talking about the prices, this game costs a full price. Alright, it is $59.99, but this PC version it packs a complete edition, so it packs all the stuff that is available for the game. You don't need to buy DLCs or any stuff like it. You will buy just the definitive edition of the game for $59.99. If it is worth the full price, well, that's up to you. Alright, I do feel that yes, it does worth the full price, and I usually do not say this for any game, but I really think that this game it is good. It is a good alternative to Dark Souls, and well, that for me it is enough. If it is good and if packs the same difficulty and if the combat it is more satisfying, then it worth the $59.99, and I do think that it clearly worth it. So if you want to support the channel, consider to buy it through Green Man Gaming. There is a link on the description of the video. So I think that's all that I want to talk about Nioh 2. Hope you keep enjoying the rest of the gameplay, and I do hope to see you soon. Goodbye.
You take on bandits, fiends. Just who in the world are you? What the? Are you okay? A cat? It's rubbing against my legs.
You're an unfamiliar face around here. What brings you to this shrine? Why do I feel so weak? Is it this strange darkness?
How can the purity of this shrine be defiled by those bandit scum?